What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Channel 99 today. We've got with us some representatives from a few of the bands playing at the Breakdown Ball coming up on December 1st. That's this Saturday. And they are doing a charity event, and it's a pretty sweet deal. It's $5 at the door?
$10 at the door, $5 from the bands.
Dude, that is a killer deal. Make sure that if you're getting tickets, which you should be getting tickets, contact the band and buy from them directly and buy multiple tickets and bring all your friends. These guys are working with a few charities such as, Will, explain that to them.
Toy for Tots and Be the Match. And Be the Match is associated with blood cancers.
Awesome.
And we actually have the regional person for Be the Match is coming in.
For what?
Just to help support the cause and help manage because with Be the Match you have to sign up for it. Mm-hmm. Because you have to sign up to see if you are a positive donor for someone.
Gotcha.
So she's coming to make sure that everything runs smoothly, since this is going to be, at least we hope, such a big event.
And she'll be set up there probably with information for people who want to.
She's going to have her own
make
booth.
A difference. That's awesome. Good for her. And we touch on that in the episode as far as like what some sponsors are doing and their engagement with the whole process and what they're going to be doing with donations. You guys have a lot of really cool things you guys are auctioning off. We're talking PlayStation 4s. What, dude, you guys have tons of stuff.
We have a signed Seether vinyl. We have a Spider-Man edition PlayStation 4. We have 2 Rick and Morty comics that are signed by
by the artist.
By the artist,
yes.
and he drew Rick on one copy and drew a Morty on the other, and like there are alternate arts on the covers and shit with his signature on them.
Yep.
Are these silent auctions? How am I going to auction?
These are probably going to be silent auctions. We're probably going to do the PlayStation 4 as a raffle, I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's something we have to discuss more with Sarai, too.
Yeah.
So. Off mic, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about what I want a silent auction and what I think you guys should put me down for if I'm just like in the bathroom or something.
Totally.
When it's wrapping up. That's how I got my guitar. And dude, the girl who said that she won the guitar, it's a good friend of mine. It's his older sister. She came up to me and she was pissed. She was hammered. So I was emceeing. So this was the Country Knitting Factory, the benefit concert for the country.
Okay.
Yeah. So I emceed that event. And I mean, I was harping on the guitar because they were saying like, "Yo, nobody's bidding on this guitar, and this is a really nice like instrument." And I don't know how to play. And I was like, all right, well, I want it, like I don't want to pay more than like $400 because I don't know what a guitar is worth, but I paid $40 for my piano and it works just fine. So I'm thinking like I wouldn't pay more than $200 for a guitar. But he was like, you should probably bid on it. Long story short, nobody's bidding on it. They put me down. She came up and she was like, I put this much down. And when they gave me the guitar, it had like the bid sheet on it on a silent auction. And it had my name, everything. I was the last name, bid, everything on there. And she was saying she bid way more than what I had even paid for it. And I was like, no, you didn't. And this girl got hostile, bro, like super hostile. So I want it to be like that again because that to me was awesome. When I walked out of there and I was like, I guess I did really well. Like, people who are listening right now, I guess... I don't know, for whatever the price of a raffle ticket's going to be, you can get a PS4, and that's like it's a whole package. It's got like games and stuff like that.
Yep. It's got Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. So, awesome. All right, well, everybody, make sure that you listen in. Oh, by the way, Toys for Tots is a military drive. For the people who didn't know that, I didn't know that. So that's awesome. Support your veterans. I come from a veteran family. Those of you who've listened in on previous shows of mine, like my history and whatnot, and my love and support for the people who fight for our freedom. So Toys for Tots is always a wonderful cause, especially when it's something that our veterans are putting their time into and also sacrificing more of their time into. to make sure that people are able to have an awesome Christmas. Also, can people donate like coats and stuff, or is it just toys?
No, it's just toys.
It's just toys. Well, you guys should do coat drive too. That'd be cool. Throw it in there right now. Just do it tonight. Solid lineup. Great venue. Make sure that you go. They're going to be playing the Boise State football game. For those of you who are thinking about, one or the other. And they do serve drinks. And it's an awesome environment. Once again, make sure that you subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Pass the episode along. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Love it. Peace.
Shut up and sit down.
That fucking the King Kong one.
I know, but I still hate it. I just hate it.
Dude, the King Kong one with the T-Rex.
Everyone hated
Dude,
the King
everybody
Kong.
fucking loved it.
No, everyone hated it.
Let's try to play the Idaho potato drop. What? Let's try to play the Idaho potato drop.
So, dude,
I'd support that.
Dude, since we're
Happy New Year.
dude, that can be our thing. Since we're from Idaho, we don't do breakdowns. We do potato drops.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh,
Potato drop balls.
Okay, let's do this.
I'm already recording. Yeah, just started recording. Everybody who is listening in right now, thank you for making it past my intro.
I don't have it.
Where'd my vape go?
I've got Scott. Oh, right here.
Could
I
I
got
get a
with
boost?
Sorry.
us today, Scott, the manager of We Were Giants.
How's
We've
it
got Will Peyton.
Thank you.
No.
Clayton, what's your last name?
Oh my God, no.
Sorry, dude.
Pompeii.
I knew it
Epic
was.
last name.
Yeah, it is epic last name. Totally.
Yeah, it just flows like lava, right?
The singer of Meridian Movement. There you go. Yeah, boy. And then we also have Logan. He is the melodic screamer. What do you call yourself again?
Harsh vocalist.
The harsh vocalist. And then we got the singer over here of We Were Giants.
Hey.
What are you called?
Melodic.
The melodic.
I like to call it
vocalist.
singing.
The Metaloculus.
Clean vocalist. That's what they say in the industry world.
Mhm.
Clean vocalist. I just say singing, whatever.
I should know this by now because you guys have been on my show like 20 times, but I just don't know the terminology that's used.
I don't either.
It's
Different
kind of
drinks.
dumb.
Kids
yeah,
these
me.
days.
Yeah.
don't know
I
what
think
they're
it's
saying
dumb.
anymore.
Well, thank you for coming to the show, everybody. What we're talking about today is the breakdown ball. And you guys have this charity event coming up, and I'd love for you to just kind of talk about what you're doing with it, how you put it together, and
Cool.
everything about it. Because I think, for me, the most interesting thing about putting on an event is what goes on
To
behind
make
the
it
scenes.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of challenges that I don't think people really think about when it comes to trying to put an event together and having the respect to just go support somebody who's, put a lot of free time into putting, a charitable event together, I guess.
I get you.
It takes a lot of man hours, man. It's hard to find people who have free time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, so from like conception, like the original idea of the breakdown ball itself was actually Logan.
Yeah.
We were, it was Boise Music Festival, a little over a year and a half ago when we played it. It was one of our first shows with Blake. I remember we were walking through the field of the fairgrounds out in Garden City. And he was talking about this idea for a show in like a big open area. We were thinking like a summer show by the river or something called the Breakdown Ball, and just like incorporate a whole bunch of like community stuff with it. And then fast forward, like we always like kept that idea fresh, but we never like did anything to like make it happen because we were so busy with other stuff. So like fast forward like a year and a half later,
it was the AFI concert.
AFI and Rise Against. I've gotten to know you for like last 6 months before we started like working on this, like because I saw your band play that Free X show and all that fun stuff. And you came to me with the idea, you and your wife, of like doing a charity concert. And then I listened to it through, and then later that night it clicked into my head like what Logan brought up so long ago. And I'm like, oh shit, well, 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing.
Yeah, and then the meeting happened.
Yeah, so what was the meeting about? Like, who met? Like, how did you guys put all this together?
It was really an idea. It was mostly like his inspiration with.
So you just had an idea?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I had an idea for like a few years, and I was just thinking about like what would be a way to bring in the community and like try to bring in more genres into one to like go to a show, but have something beneficial for everyone, you know? And so I was like coming up with either ideas for some kind of tour or some, and it just kind of boiled down to just making one event but yearly type deal. Like make it something that people are going to come to year after year and help support the community, you know? Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of friends too growing up, and you know, people, you know, going through hard times and stuff, and you know, everyone wants something for Christmas and everything that's like gonna make their day, you know, and that's kind of what, you know, giving gifts and stuff like that. And basically I was like, well, dude, what if we did like Toys for Tots? And that happened at the meeting. Was like, dude, we need to like bring in the kids with it, you know, try and make Christmas better for kids that are less fortunate than others, you know.
Do you guys know what your demographic is? Like, do you know who listens to your music, like how old they are, gender, race, ethnicity? Like, do you get that data
That's
from
the beauty
anything?
of the bands that we picked, is that we went for, like, Meridian Movement has more of a 90s feel. And with the 90s feel, it brings a lot of the older crowd, plus the younger crowd, because it's kind of new, but it sounds old at the same time. And then you have We Were Giants and Life Upon Liars and As Fire Falls, who bring in the younger crowd through like the college age, high school age, because the show is all ages.
Sure.
So we hope to grab a huge demographic with it.
Well, yeah, you guys have a very dynamic card, I guess. Is that what you call it in the music industry? Yeah, just like a great lineup. And I did think about that. And the only reason I asked is because you would have to probably find commonalities of how those people would engage with the type of charity that they're going to participate in. You know, like if... I don't know. I guess everybody's going to donate Toys for Tots, like everybody, and they donate canned food. Everybody's got canned food.
But that is the beauty of it, too, is that we decided to have the Breakdown Ball be we created it into a non-profit. We went the extra step.
Oh, you guys got like a business license?
Yeah, we went through and made
congratulations.
an actual
That's awesome.
non-profit.
Good for you.
And
so who's CEO?
With it, we have...
Did you guys have to name, like, officers?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how that works.
So we have the CEO is Logan.
Yep.
Dope.
I am the treasurer. Scott is the secretary, if I'm right.
It's either... Yeah, I believe
Yes.
so.
You should
And
be
then-
keeping minutes right now, dude.
And then we have
Is that
my...
what you do, right? As a secretary?
Yeah.
You should be keeping minutes in.
True. And then we have my wife is the director, because she's had multiple experiences involving team buildings and charity aspects to
Project management stuff.
Project management stuff. So she keeps us all in line. And then we also have Alex, who is my guitarist in Meridian Movement. He is the vice president. But with all of us, we decided that we would create this nonprofit to allow us to do this as an annual event, to have every single year. Mm-hmm. And then each year have different charities.
Yeah.
So we can make sure that we cover all the bases of what Boise needs.
Yeah.
Instead of just helping out Toys for Tots this year and then be the match this year, next year we'll have 2 separate charities altogether.
Yeah.
So then we're just helping out the community even more.
Totally. So one way I think you might be able to get a lot of people through the doors is if you made it a donation show where they just donate. They have to bring 2 toys, you know, and if they bring 3 or if they bring 4, they get a drink ticket. And that way you can collect a ton. I think to try to, I don't know, this is from a marketing perspective from where I'm looking at as far as demographic goes. Because, I mean, like, a lot of them will just go and buy, like a $5 toy at, like, Walmart. Like, 2 of them, you know, a $3 toy or something like that. It's whatever. But you're still getting a ton of toys. And I think the most important part for the drive is definitely that. And especially getting more people through the doors. But, I mean, sacrifice, man. Everybody has to sacrifice. I mean, everybody sacrifices like their time, especially when it comes to these types of projects and events. So anything that I can do as far as like a different perspective, like, always hit me up, man. You guys got my numbers.
Right.
Yeah, if
Absolutely.
you're like, hey man, what do you think about this idea? I'd be like, I don't know, that's a great idea. A lot of times, like, I just like to help people out with a different perspective.
Totally.
So but you guys are going to drive a lot of traffic. That's going to be a dope show.
Oh, dude.
And I'm super excited about it.
And we've got a lot of coverage for it coming up this week. We just got featured this morning on a page called Concert Photography 208. And it's this guy who's starting to do, like, I believe his name's Aaron, is doing, like, Music Mondays to, like, promote local bands. And it's here in Boise, and I think he's, like, looking to branch out in the future. But it's pretty sick. He reached out and wanted to do a piece on us. So I gave him all of Giants info, and then he's doing a teaser for the Breakdown Ball, and then he's going to do a special on the Breakdown Ball after we're done. We also got Bump Magazine going to interview Logan and do an article on the Breakdown Ball with Logan.
Dude.
And then we're going to be talking about it in interviews Friday morning on the morning after with Nick and Big J the day before the show. And then Friday night, we're going to be airing with Randy and getting interviewed as well. So the X is going to be covering it essentially the whole day before.
All free press.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome. Congratulations. You guys are, well, I mean, you're putting together, obviously, an event that is getting recognition. So I'm excited to see where this goes, dude. What was my next question? You guys had the meeting, and where to go from there? You guys filed for the license. Well, how did everything get set up?
Okay, so we filed for the license, and as we were doing so, we discovered, hey, since we're just doing this charity event for us, if we're actually making a nonprofit, why don't we actually have it benefit all the bands of Boise? So in future, since we already have the nonprofit set up, and from what I know, we're the only nonprofit set up, at least for bands involving Boise, is that we can help the bands of Boise run their charity events in the future as well. So we can help them get sponsors to help cover the cost of events and make sure that the maximum amount that is donated goes to the charity instead of having to pay for the venue or such and such. So that's really what transpired involving the creation of it, is that we learned that we made this whole entire new entity that we could actually help all of the Boise bands.
Totally. I think it's good.
That part was all you, like with the filing for the IRS and everything. That was your and your wife's idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea.
But it was for the greater good.
It was.
Who came up with the name?
That was Logan.
Logan.
It's a dope name, dude.
It is.
Yeah, it's like it flows. So it's like breakdown ball.
It's sick,
I don't know.
right?
It's catchy. Yeah, no. You nailed it with that one. Easy to market. So what are your guys' expectations right now as far as like the lineup goes? Are you expecting everybody to kill it? Everybody's coming off of like a bunch of like everybody's playing, right?
Oh, yeah.
All you guys play shows all the time.
Yeah, we try and, well, when you get to a certain stature in Boise, you have to, like, when you start playing the Knitting Factory more often and less, like, smaller shows, you have to start staggering out when you play, like, to, like, avoid oversaturation and such. And, like, I know we've been doing that, especially since, like, I don't know, it's been, like, about the last 8-10 months, right? Since we've been, like, staggering out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, most of the last one was because we were writing an album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the future, it's gonna be, yeah, like we won't play another show like this for probably a while.
Oh yeah, and it helps for hype, but at the same time, it also is like a mutual benefit. So that way, people get something unique instead of the same repeated process. Like uniqueness is what drives bands. Like you can the best way to just succeed is just to be yourself, and I think that gets lost in translation a lot. So but the lineup that we got for this show is absolutely nuts. I'm pretty excited to have a Void come down from Seattle because I'm pretty sure they've never played Boise before.
How many bands are playing?
5.
There's 5 total bands. And how long is the show supposed to be?
Well, it's doors are at 5:30, shows at 6:30, and our hard curfew is 11:30 or midnight.
Nice.
So it's going to be like 5-ish hours.
They doing drinks and stuff?
Yeah. It's going to be just like any concert at the Revolution.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah, I dig the Rev, man. It's going to be it's a nice open spot.
Standing room, it is just little over twice the size of the Knitting Factory capacity.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's anything after 1,300 people is considered a sold out show at the Rev. But standing room is like 2,100 people.
Damn.
Because it's just a big concrete block.
Yeah.
So that's why we've been so persistent and just really pushing to promote this show, because it's a big room to fill.
It is a big room to fill, and it's a lot of work to try to get that thing filled up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And they've never really done, like, not that I know of, like regular, like, local showcases at the Rev. Because, like, that's always been more of a Knitting Factory thing. Like, I know they did the Gods of Rock tribute.
Yes.
Like 3 or 4 months ago, but I've never heard of any other local showcases going to the Rev other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and that's why we wanted to have 4 local bands, but then also 1 band that was from out of Boise, just so we would still have that draw from the to have people see someone that hasn't been here before.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, oversaturation. I think a lot of people in the scene have probably seen the same bands over and over,
Oh,
and
yeah.
over again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with Meridian Movement and Life Upon Liars, I would say we haven't played as much. I mean, Meridian Movement's only like 10 months. No, we're about a year now on the scene, so we haven't been around too much. Life Upon Liars hasn't played as many shows either, but it allows us, and that's how we want to do it too, is that we want to have a couple bands to where a couple bands have not played as much, so then they can showcase themselves to Boise, and then in future shows we'll have a completely different lineup, and then we'll have a couple bands that haven't played as much, and then we'll have a couple bands that have played as much, just so we can make sure that we have a lot of people come to the shows.
Cross promote.
Yeah.
Different
Cross-promote.
demographics and such.
So after you guys got everything set up with the business license and everything like that, and you approached all the bands, probably just like Facebooked them, yeah? Just said, hey, what's up? This is our idea.
Yeah. Well, at that meeting, we like made a list of some of the bands we would want to see for the first one, and then we just kept narrowing it down, and then we decided on the lineup, and all of our first choices said yes for the first one. So.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if anybody said no.
The first out of
You don't
towner.
have to name them, but
Yeah, the first out of towner we had in mind. I I asked them first because they got us a pretty decent show out of state, and we were good friends with them like a little ways back. But they said, sorry, it's going to be too bad driving conditions around the time where we live, like, and it's pretty far. So I'm like, okay, understandable. And then I remembered a Void from Seattle, and because Benny is the promoter up there for the El Corazon, which is a pretty decent venue in Seattle.
Okay.
So he was working the venue when we were up there playing last year for the Summer Slaughter Tour showcase. I don't know if Benny was the promoter for that, but he was working the venue at the time. Mm-hmm. And remembering him from that, and a mutual friend of mine showing me a Void, and a friend of mine that I actually went to high school with who lives up in Seattle who loves them. They're one of his favorite bands. So I was like, all right. I messaged Benny, and he's like, absolutely, without hesitation. I was like, sweet.
That's way dope. Well, I can't really see too many bands really turning you down. That would be, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. You're doing it for a good cause. And
yeah. Good cause, and definitely the venue we're playing at.
It's a dope venue.
It's a dope venue, and it's also very, very hard to break into.
So that was
especially for the local scene.
And again, that's like where I was trying to lead into with after you guys got everything figured out. So you got the business put together, and then did you have to decide on the venue? How'd you guys figure that out? What?
That's the funny thing about it. So during the AFI concert, I go to Scott and I was like, "So if I could get us in here, would you headline?" And
that was a dope concert.
Totally.
Oh, that was fun.
It was
I saw
awesome.
you guys there.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So you were technically a part of this conception
I
too,
was.
because you were
Oh,
there.
yeah, I guess I
you were
was.
there.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
Scott was like, "Yeah, totally. Let's see if you can get me in here." And I was like, I just
Mutual
pretty much I started the grind, and here we are.
grind, mutual contacts, and boom. I was like,
Yep.
it was it was very unexpected, and I'm glad that it happened the way that it did, because it's it turned into something that's pretty amazing, and I can't wait to see like the flagship of it, which is the first annual show, and then where it progresses from there, because like we haven't even like begun to start talking about what we're gonna do after this.
Oh, totally.
So it's gonna be unique every time, and gonna be amazing every time.
Yeah.
As long
Every
as we
year we're
progress the
gonna
same way.
have we also have auction items.
Yeah.
Yeah, the auction items are sick this year.
Yeah.
I'm kind of pissed I can't put in for them.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, I got that guitar off an auction as an auction item. So
I got PS4 this year.
Yeah, you have that PS4.
If you wanted to do
you're
the
doing a bunch
guitar,
of-
I'm pretty sure we could work that out. I'm just saying, like.
No, he got the
Oh no,
guitar.
I got my guitar through an auction.
I remember we talked about that before, that Fender out there. I'm like, that's a pretty nice guitar. We can talk about it.
Yeah. No, I definitely would not donate that. I just got it. All right, so you're talking about breaking into the venue as far as being able to get a slot for you guys. And why is it difficult for local scene? Is it just because there's just so much interest from outside that it's just never dead in there, or what?
It's not really like that. It's just like I respect that. I respect people like Gary Pike that do like these local showcases, and he really pushes to bring local bands to open for these national tours to help get them some recognition, because if it wasn't for local music, like none of the greats wouldn't exist. Like, doesn't matter what kind of music you listen to, everything from like Metallica to Bring Me the Horizon, like they all started locally somewhere. I respect that, but at the same time I kind of understand where the Rev is coming from, because they have these massive tours that are coming through. A lot of these Boise has a really cool laid back music scene with a lot of the people here. Like, most of them are very respectful, like really like upright people. And you've got to understand, like, these bands that are coming from these bigger markets like LA or Pittsburgh or Nashville or Miami, like everybody's out to kill each other for like the same slot. So like you've got all these bands that have these horror stories of being on the road, where all these local bands are like rushing their rooms and like trying to get autographs and shit, and just being really respectful and in your face when you've been on the road for weeks. You really don't want to deal with that shit. You kind of just want to unwind, because this never really ends for you. So like I understand why the Rev doesn't do a whole lot of local slots, because it can be like a hassle for a lot of the traveling musicians, especially because that venue's huge and it's got some big bands. Like Slayer's play. Every one of the big four except for Metallica has played that venue in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of those bands usually book way in advance.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and it just depends on like timing and such, and like what they want out of it.
For sure. So how far ahead of the show did you guys have to book this place?
We finalized it in like I want to say
beginning of October.
Oh, that's not bad.
About that, yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. So it was like a month out or 2 months out.
What really helped is that we knew some people that had already booked it, such as Chris Holton, who booked the Gods of Rock.
Mm-hmm. CP Audio and those guys.
Yeah, and we knew CP Audio, and it allowed us to get in the door. And then after that, we just impressed.
That's cool. So, yeah, so let's go through that part. So, how did you weasel your way into the venue itself? Like, what were the steps you took on that?
A lot of emails.
And not even weaseling, just like...
I don't know if...
Just,
that's a lot of the stuff, like, the Rev doesn't really want us to expose.
Oh, yes. I gotcha.
Like, because it really is a hassle. Like, that's kind of why we went all quiet.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, shit. Cause
do they do a bidding system?
No,
because, I mean,
not really a bidding system. I mean, it's a lot of emails, and then it's also just hoping that they don't have something else scheduled for that date.
So it was a proposal.
Yes, we proposed, and then they have a certain list of people that have already signed up for that. And there was actually another event signed up on December 1st, but they bowed out, and then we got the slot.
So what was your proposal?
Just it's really hard.
Was it
to
just an idea, or did you offer hey,
it's an idea? And
like, this is what we can probably afford to give you guys.
Well, no, not exactly. So pretty much you have it with the Revolution is that they have fees and all of that, and it depends on who you use because they have a couple different things. That you can use.
I don't. We got to cut that out.
I was gonna say we can't talk about
we can't talk about it.
Okay.
We're on non-disclosure. We can't talk on.
That's what I was trying to say.
I mean, you guys can't give me numbers. You can tell me what you guys like.
No, like I'm
propose.
saying, we can tell you off this.
Like we can explain to you like in person like why we can't really talk about it.
Yeah, there's a good reasoning for it.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but like you can still talk about. You can't just get to specifics. You have to cover numbers.
We can talk about the process.
Yeah, you can talk about the process. And you can say, hey,
that's
yeah,
the thing
there
is
was
I don't really want to talk about the process.
The process was literally just a bunch of emails.
Just back and forth banter between people, just waiting.
Yeah.
That's all emails are.
It was pretty much emails, and that was about it. I mean, emails and explaining what we wanted to do.
Yeah. And what did you guys want to do initially?
Well, I mean, initially...
do something that somebody hasn't done before.
Yeah.
We wanted to do a charity event that was unique because at the moment, whenever we were talking about it, everyone started doing charity events. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, well, let's do something.
And who's everyone?
Well, so we had, I mean, as tragically as it is with the knitting factory, the fire.
Oh, yeah.
And all of that. So we had the knit benefit show, and then there was the country knit benefit show, and then there were a couple of other benefit shows that were going on involving other things.
There's like 4 or 5 probably.
Yeah, around that time. And then I just had the idea. I was like, well, we could do something involving charity, but since around the time slot that we were thinking about it, I was like, it's going to take us like 2 months anyways. So we might as well do something involving December. And then Logan was like, Toys for Tots. So then we went with that. And then we thought also, let's do something involving a medical aspect as well. And that's why we decided to be the match.
That's cool. So then with working with Toys for Tots, how did you guys just approach them, just email them and say, hey, we're doing this? And then do they hook you guys up with bins and stuff? How does that work?
Okay, so I dealt with the Toys for Tots. And you pretty much, and Scott got the contact, and he got in touch with them, and then they told us that we needed to meet at such and such a day, and they had everyone that deals with Toys for Tots meet on such and such a day. And then you end up going on to the National Guard base, and you sit through a whole entire seminar, and then you gather boxes
So
to
it's
fill
the-
up the toys.
That's crazy. So it's the military that handles all that stuff?
It's
The
Or
National,
National
Guard.
Guard?
it's the Marines
Marines.
Toys for Tots Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were the ones who did that.
Yeah.
I thought it was its own private nonprofit.
Yeah, it was started by the Marine Corps.
That's dope. So, what can people donate? Any toy?
Any toy.
Any toy as long as it's new. It
Got
needs
it.
to be new.
Got it. It's got to be packaged up.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, people are going to be running out, going to dollar stores, just grabbing like $5 with dollar store toys.
Yeah, whatever works.
That's
No.
probably what I would do, to be honest with you. If I'm donating a bunch of stuff.
Well, I
probably
mean,
like
as long as
$20
kids
worth of
get a
toys.
new toy, I mean, that's the main
Bunch of
thing
dice.
because
Come on,
Right.
a bunch of dice and trading cards. Teach them young. Go gamble your dreams away, kids.
Oh my god.
and then that kid ends up like gambling and winning all the other kids' toys.
Exactly. You never know. You could be inspiring the next world poker champion.
You just started a child's crime ring with the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah,
You're gonna breed like the Al Capone of like child gangsters.
totally. Totally. All right, so you guys had it all set up. You got accepted into the Rev, and you had the lineup, and now you're just marketing.
Yep. A friend of mine messaged me a picture like 2 weeks ago. She has like 8 garbage bags full of toys that she's donating to the show.
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I bet my mom's probably got a bunch of toys that she just has collected because she has like 15 grandkids now. Yeah, dude, I've got a lot of nephews and nieces. No, probably not that many, but a lot. I don't even know. There's so many
Talk
of them
about
coming out
pressure.
now. Yeah, it's a lot, dude. But my mom has tons of toys, so maybe I'll just go see if I can collect some from her.
Yeah.
That'd be
dope.
awesome.
Yeah, she's got, and they're like for younger kids. So with Toys for Tots, do they typically say we want toys for like 1 to 5 year olds, or like what?
They don't
really
discriminate.
care.
They
No,
just-
doesn't
No.
even matter.
It's anything.
I just give them a bunch of guns and stuff, like a bunch of gun toys. That'd be cool.
I mean,
It is run by the Marine Corps.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Start
true.
them young
Yeah,
in a
good call.
positive way, like, hey, join the military.
Yeah, good call. Like Nerf guns and stuff, or like
Yeah.
Cap guns. You know,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Because usually those are marketed kind of like.
Yeah,
for
well,
kids.
we went to Build-A-Bear and got like, I don't know, how many toys did we get from Build-A-Bear?
Dude, did they
It was
donate?
like
Mm,
no. I mean,
Did you
the-
guys approach people for donations on
Oh,
this?
we have. We
for
approached.
for the auction items and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how you got the items?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know if that was like out of pocket. I don't know how that works. So, how many businesses are donating to you guys, or like helping you put it on?
I believe it's like 5 at the moment. The problem with starting a nonprofit and in the first year is that a lot of big companies are like, okay, we don't do it for first years because we want to see how you do your first year.
Mm.
mhm.
So it's kind of like you just kind of have to claw and scratch your way through it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like the rainbow opens and the sun shines. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, now I can get all of these grants and whatnot
Yeah.
after that.
True. Now you
That's
can do
what
that.
that's what his wife is looking forward to doing, is getting grants for scholarships for kids because she works in the medical field.
Or
Yes.
get grants for your organization
Mhm.
to put on the show, you know,
Yeah.
to at least, you know, have some money for something, maybe to put on like a dinner or something for a bunch of kids, you know,
Yeah.
or like donate a bunch of food to the homeless shelter or something like that. I don't know how that works, but have you approached people for sponsorships? Like for just any type of a donation for like money?
Mostly
or
him and
anything
his
like that?
wife have been doing that because
Like local
Yeah, I
businesses?
mean, we've gotten a bunch of gift cards
Cool.
and we've gotten some items, such as the auction items that we have listed on Facebook. But overall, yeah, just mostly gift cards, I would say.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of the local businesses, they give out gift cards for any type of...
Especially with the locals.
Yeah.
I mean, with the bigger businesses, the national businesses, is that you end up getting bigger items and whatnot usually.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying, it's you guys' first go around. I think a lot of, like smaller local companies, like especially when you're putting on a local show, you're going to have to approach local companies. And a lot of them don't have tons of money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've went through
donate.
like 35 different places.
And you got how many things did you get at, like,
I would say
success rate?
Like 27. So pretty good.
Out of how many?
I mean, 27 places, yeah.
Out of how many? Sorry,
35.
35.
Yeah. So
dude, that's
it's
like,
pretty decent.
That's really good. That's
Yeah.
awesome for the local community.
Yeah,
that's
like 3/4 of the people. Yeah,
Idaho is very giving.
Way more than that. Yeah, dude. No, that is awesome. And that's just Boise. Is it everywhere? Did you hit up everybody?
I went through
in the valley?
Boise, Meridian, Nampa.
Just local places. Yeah. That's cool though.
We really tried to do a lot of mom and pop places for our first show, just because since we have the 4 local bands, we wanted to really culture the in-house aspect.
So how are you guys promoting your sponsors? What are you doing for them?
We haven't really yet. That's what we're showcasing them at the show.
Yeah,
telling them where all
doing
the
a
stuff.
Banner, like, are they setting booths up?
They have the option if they want to, and with what we like normally with, like, because I don't know who we have emceeing yet. We have one guy who's yet to confirm, but we'll see. Have whoever's emceeing the event just like thank the sponsors for us. We'll showcase their stuff, say where the stuff is from that's going to be auctioned off, and just stuff like that.
Dude, that's what's up. Are you guys also doing like a raffle?
It's going to be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Raffle.
Like in between bands and stuff. That's cool, man. And what are the raffle ticket prices? I'm just curious.
We don't have any yet.
You'll probably figure it out when you decide what to raffle.
Yeah, that's what we're deciding this week and such with all the stuff that we've got.
Hell yeah. I'm stoked, man. How are you guys preparing? We Were Giants. Have you guys been practicing a lot?
Well, I've been preparing. I can't really say how I've been preparing, but I've been preparing for this show, like for the show specifically.
For this week.
Proprietary.
For the show specifically, I have actually been working further in the future on my end, and so I haven't really been preparing for the show other than just. I guess I'm supposed to like make sure my voice is good to go.
Normal band practices and such.
Or just
for you, you're just singing.
Or I just all I have to do is
fresh.
sing. I don't even have to do anything really.
Except don't get sick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get sick. Just sing. Practice every day like you're supposed to, and that's really all I have to do. Everybody else kind of practices on their own. We have practices quite a bit, but most of our conditioning is just us all individually just practicing. It's literally all you got to do is just keep fresh on your instrument.
Yeah.
So.
Logan, do you practice like screams? Like, do you like vocal? Because I know that you have to, like, it's a muscle, right? Like your vocal cords. I mean, you have to continuously work on it. It's like a workout. Yeah. So, like for you, because I would think that you would just strain yourself if you like did it every day. You could sing your fucking like lungs out all day, every day, probably. But for you, is it harsh on your like vocal cords? Like, do you have to take a break, or could you just scream for like hours, just like hours and hours?
I mean, hours and hours is difficult for anybody. I mean,
yeah, even for singing.
Like
after a few couple out, anything over 2 hours, I'm like pretty much done for the day.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Like 2 or 3 hours.
It takes a lot more energy, like, to do that versus talking. You know, you got people that can go. I used to work in a call center, and that was really rough dealing with the band because I was talking all day and then having to go record. It was really difficult.
And you're already strained.
Yeah, I was already strained up all day, But no, I mean, I do certain vocal exercises and I do a lot of warm ups before shows. But, like, when we were on tour and stuff, like, I mean, the more repetition, the easier it was for me, Like, I never had an issue of it, like, dying out on stage or anything, knock on wood.
Yeah. How do you warm up?
Magic.
Do you have, like, do octave work? Like, do you sing?
No.
Do you grunt? Do you, like...
I'm a
make
little
weird
weird.
noises.
It always starts off with that.
Yeah, I mean,
like a warm up,
Can you give
Yeah,
us
I
an
do.
example?
like a
No.
stretch. It's like a vocal stretch.
kind of, yeah.
It's
Just
more
kinda
of like
loosens it
it's
up.
more of like a ritual for him to warm up.
Yeah, I have to go for the full thing, and yeah, it's kind of like
You
ritual.
just kind of like develop that over the years.
and I mean, I have to get into a certain level of mind frame.
Has it-
like that's like the biggest thing for me.
Has it changed? Has your like your ritual changed over the years, or has it been consistent? It has.
Yeah,
So have you just added more stuff into it? Like it just gets longer and longer.
kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is not the muscle part of it. It's more of the mental part of it. So like, it'll take me hours to get like mentally prepped.
And you do that just listening to music and shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I'll listen to our stuff like before shows and everything, and then have to change it up and then go back to it. But I don't
Get you
know.
hyphy.
Yeah, but then I have to have like, I don't know, weird silence to myself sometimes. So.
No, I
I don't
totally
know.
get that. What about you, Blake? Do you have
Do you
like
want
a
my
warm?
honesty?
Yeah, totally.
I don't do shit.
You don't even warm up.
I don't do anything. I don't listen to music. I don't fucking. I just go out there
There's
and I just
no
start.
mental preparation.
Basically, for me personally, when I like, because we always play shows at nighttime, but you know, I wake up in the morning and that's when my voice is kind of like, you know, needs to be warmed up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if I tried to sing right when I wake up, I would sound like shit. But basically, like, if I go 1 or 2 hours after I've been awake and talking and, like, actually just speaking to people, I
Yeah.
can, if I've been up for 2 or 3 hours, I could sing the hardest note possible right there. Like, I just don't need to do it. I don't know.
Possible answers as to why you talk a lot. Got it.
Yeah, you're always.
I literally have been sitting back here for a long time chilling, listening to you guys.
I know.
You're
Fuck you, dude.
you warm up
Oh,
all day,
man.
every day. That's crazy, dude. Good for you, man. I just know people who make like drinks and concoctions and shit. They'll do like the lemon juice. What about you, Will?
So, I'm classically trained. I sang classical music throughout my childhood. Sang at Carnegie Hall whenever I was 17.
Do you have a favorite classical piece? Because I know a lot of classical.
La Cremosa.
Mhm.
It totally rings.
Never heard that.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I like Shenandoah. Oh, Shenandoah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Great song.
Yeah. But with it, I mean, everything that my high school teacher drilled in me, I pretty much do like 20 minutes of vocal warm-ups.
Yeah. And is
Yeah.
it a ritual or is it more of like a training exercise? Like it's more
whenever
of like a
I
curriculum.
sing for a show, that's what I'll do. Whenever I'm just waking up or anything like that. I mean, like, I'll drive my wife and kid to their designated places, school, work, and then I'll drive around town for like 2 hours just singing really difficult things, usually really high things. Like, I'll sing a bunch of Coheed and Cambria.
Ooh, yeah.
Their new album
because
is so good.
it stretches out the
I'll have to download
vocals, and I sang a lot of System of a Down, and pretty much, yeah, and the Used. I go with that, and that's how I do my constant daily exercises.
That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's your vocal range? What can you hit? Are you like a bass to a soprano kind of guy?
I'm like a baritone to a first tenor.
Okay, yeah. That's
I'd
a
say an
pretty
alto
good
one.
range.
Yeah,
Alto one.
Yeah, actually alto one.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
I think
That's pretty good.
his range is about as high as Blake's. I think they're about. I think you can
Yeah.
go a little higher maybe, but I've never really like tested that because you can sing pretty fucking high.
And I go full voice, pretty loud.
So those bands you listed off, do they influence your music at all? Like in your writing or
With my writing,
what influences your stuff?
yeah,
Do you
I would
also play an instrument? You just don't play one in the band? Sorry, I'm like
I can play a little bit of guitar and bass, but not. I'm really bad.
but you're just a vocalist.
Yeah.
For the most part, you're
Yeah, I'm pretty
you're
much
the voice
just a
box.
vocal-
For
yeah.
sure, man. That's an instrument. That's your instrument.
yeah.
So
I mean, I would say it would be Incubus and Tool would be probably my main things.
Yeah, I dig both those bands, dude.
Yeah, well, when I met him, he's like, "Yeah, I'm the vocalist for a new metal band," and in the back of my head, I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like Korn and Cold Chamber, and then you drop like Incubus, and I like Tool is a good one. Like, don't get me wrong, but then you drop like Incubus and Deftones, and I'm like,
Wallflowers. Were you a Wallflowers guy back in the day?
Oh, totally.
I was a big Wallflowers.
like I don't like. Don't get me wrong, I love your music, but I was hoping for that dark, creepy shit that I grew up with.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
I'm sorry.
That's cool, man. That's interesting that you're classically trained, and it's interesting that both you have a very different dynamic. You have like your like your own warm up system, and then you're over here just creating habits. It's like it reminds me of the pitchers who do like the weird clicks and clacks, and they like touch the ball a certain way, and then they hit their hip a certain way, and then they throw it, and get all weird and shit. And then, like, people, when they're at bat, they click their heels a certain amount of times. They do the weird little...
rituals, dude.
Yeah, little rituals. I had my rituals, man. I had my rituals in football. I do the same shit every time I got up to the line. It was just something you kind of develop. It gets you in the mindset. So
Yeah, I never talk until I get to a venue.
You're super quiet.
That's
you
how
don't
I
listen to
am.
music or anything?
Nope, I'm just quiet. I don't talk to my wife or kid that whole entire day until I get to the venue.
It's kind of how I was in, like, playing football. Like, I would just be super quiet, just in my own head, like kind of psyching myself up.
Yeah.
I'd be like going through plays. For me, I'd be like going through plays like, what if this dude does this? What am I going to do? Like, just basically doing like mental reps
I got
the whole time. Do you guys do that? Do you like sing in your own head and shit? And like, make sure you're remembering the songs.
That's a tough one for me.
I'll just.
Have you ever forgot lyrics on stage? You have.
Oh, yeah.
I used
Have you
to be
covered
really
up?
bad at that.
Could you
like
just
when
mumble?
I first started?
No, like
I'm really good at ad-libbing. I just make up words at the spot.
Yeah, I
can just go with it.
Nobody's gonna notice, dude. For the most part, people aren't. I mean,
But
they
the problem
might,
is, once they
but
actually
they're not
learn
gonna
the
care.
song, then I have to learn the song.
Well, like when we were at practice the other day and we were like starting Dream Killer, and you're like, "What are the words?" I'm like, and you're like, "Oh."
it's like, what the fuck?
That's
It's like,
funny,
dude, I'm,
I was like, "Was that your intent?"
gosh, dude, I was so not into it.
Dude,
that
that was-
practice. I was just like,
That was so
everything was
funny.
out of my mind. I was just not into it. And then I was like, Dream Killer came out. I was like,
Shit, what are
what
the
words? Scott, someone help me here.
Yeah, I know.
Hell. Bloody hell, man.
Yeah, I've never been to a concert that I can remember, and I've been to a lot of shows where a lyricist that I can remember ever noticing a lyricist or a band forgetting the lyrics, but you hear of some like horror stories, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I've
people
seen,
get pissed.
dude. I've seen a couple pretty good ones live.
Have you?
Yeah,
Where
dude.
they just forget the lyrics?
Yeah, and
Oh,
they'll
you know what? I have actually.
they'll go back and start over because they fucked up. They're so bad. They're like, damn it.
Yeah. And I want to say that happened at the Pennywise show.
Oh, yeah?
Because they did like it was a fan request or something. But those dudes have like 17 albums or something.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, I've seen them live over the years for the last 18 years since 2000. That's when I saw them for the first time at Warped Tour, dude.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it was
I've
sick.
seen him twice.
One of my first mosh pits, and it was huge. And I was
Dude,
like
Pennywise is the
13
shit.
years old. Yeah, it was a dope show.
Dude, I
man.
love Pennywise.
They're dope. But yeah, they forgot the lyrics at the show. Were you at the show?
This last one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in January, I think, or February or something.
Are you talking about the Scallywag or the one at the
No,
Knitting Factory?
before Knitting
Oh, the Knitting
Factory.
Oh,
Factory.
okay.
Yeah.
Before,
That's
no, I wasn't at that one.
And Scallywag was dope though.
Scallywag was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
We got really drunk at
Oh,
Scallywag.
dude. And free beer
Yeah.
that was 11%.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't fault me
And,
for that.
and
No,
that
no,
Greek
no.
place was awesome.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It was basically just a filler for the Punk and Drublic tour from last year because I went to that
Yeah.
too for the No Effects one. Basically, all the Warped Tour headliners. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it reminds me of. It's just like the people who had to fill that void.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fill the spot that.
Scallywag was fun.
Yeah.
That was really sick. I'd never seen a show in CenturyLink Arena before. And
Me neither.
it was funny. The owner of Diamonds was really, really wasted, and he kept coming up behind Diamonds Event Center in Jerome.
Yeah, he did.
He kept coming up behind me and like rubbing my shoulders or like
Yeah.
hugging me. And I'm like, hi, what's
It was
up?
awkward but cool at the same time.
He was so trashed, and it was funny as hell. Like I love Greg. He's funny.
Yeah.
But oh god,
A lot of those bands are getting old, man.
dude, they know how to party still though.
Those dudes are looking old, bro.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Dude,
all
that's how
those
I
guys.
felt when I saw Suicidal Tendencies a couple years ago. They came here with Slipknot and Beartooth, and I saw those guys go up on stage, and their drummer, dude, like their drummer used to be shredded, and he, like, he comes out on stage because Suicidal was the second
He's
band
all
on
like
that show.
saggy and shit.
He comes out, he's wearing a fucking like basketball jersey. He puts his arms up, and his arms are like dangling all the way fucking down. But he can still shred and like do blast beats like he did in the '80s. It's crazy, but like it was so funny. Like it's just like an age shock thing. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird for people like, I guess, Will, you're even a year older than me, but it's just weird for me to go and see a lot of these bands I saw when I was growing up, and they just look old, dude. Like, I don't notice it because I only see them once every 5 or 6 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm kind of glad I didn't see that Smashing Pumpkins didn't come here because I saw
yeah.
them whenever I was in 7th grade.
Oh yeah.
And I knew that if I would have saw them at the show, I would have been just traumatized by how they look now.
Could you imagine what Kurt Cobain would look like right now if he was
Oh,
still
gosh.
alive? That dude would look so tired.
I mean,
He would look
I don't-
so tired.
I don't know. Like, I think being married to Courtney Love does not age you well. I mean, look at how his life.
It doesn't keep you alive, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't save your
There,
life.
there's so many conspiracies behind that dude, and it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Like some of the conspiracies that people have, like towards the death of Kurt Cobain and shit.
Well, I just heard that. I don't know. This is just one thing. This is how many rumors. I've watched like documentary and stuff, but one of the things that stuck with me was I guess they said he had so much dope in his system that there would have been no possible way he could have lifted the gun. Like, there's no way he could have actually picked the gun up, and he would have been like almost comatose at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was like. He should have just like OD'd at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was like on that. He was borderline. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's sad. Musicians always die though.
At this point, I don't think that's
Like
one.
the good ones always die young, right? Like, think about it. Like, a lot of them die young.
I get you.
I guess that's why I'm glad I'm not good.
I guess it depends because
no,
like
young though, dude.
there's
You're still pretty young.
like I don't know. Like, not to like disrespect any artists passing, but I feel like a lot of the times too they're looked at legends because they died so young. Like, my all-time favorite guitar player is Randy Rhoads, and he died at the age of 27.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix, man.
So
Everyone dies at 27.
Everybody dies
the
at
27
Janis
club.
Joplin?
Kurt
Don't be
Cobain.
Kurt
jinxing.
Cobain.
Yep.
Don't be jinxing.
How old are you, Logan?
Don't be jinxing, bro.
How old are you, Logan?
Logan, you're Hall of Fame, dog.
Logan, how old are you?
Sweet
27.
baby Jesus
You're
is calling
27.
you home.
When's your birthday?
September.
21st.
September 21st. Dang, dude.
You have
That's
a
crazy.
long ways to survive.
No.
Yeah, you'll be all right, man. You'll
Dude,
be all
I'm
right.
really like 2,697.
Michael Jackson died at what, 50?
50 exactly.
Yeah, that's still young, dude.
I don't
Yeah.
believe he
Nowadays, I mean, we're supposed to live until we're like in our 70s or something.
Yeah, well, that was a medication mess up. What killed Michael Jackson?
died. I don't think he really died.
Oh, true. There
Maybe
is
not.
that too.
Yeah, maybe not.
He could be the harsh vocalist for We Were Giants. We don't know.
I'm not Michael Jackson.
Are you sure?
Do I look like Michael Jackson?
You really don't want me to answer that right now. That's why you cut your hair. You were looking too much like him.
That actually kind of makes sense.
No, I'm fucking with you.
Come on, Logan. Or should I say Mikey?
MJ was a legend.
He is a legend. One of my all-time favorite albums is his Motown remixes, and they take his old remixes when he was with Motown, and they just give it like an updated beat, and him just singing the vocals. Like, they just take the vocals off the track and
Oh,
put
yeah.
them on.
They've
like a fresh set of beats.
That's one artist
Like,
that they have done.
It's the original song, just is just updated to like more current style. It's not even a remix. It's the same song. They just like increase the bass. They do some weird whatever they do. The remix on.
But
the
they make
levels.
it relevant.
Yeah,
And
they
that's the cool
remix
thing
the
about
levels on it to make it sound a little more like aggressive when they don't change it. Anyway, long story short, dope album.
See,
sure.
and like stuff like that is cool to like remember an artist that passed, but don't go like the creepy fucking route and have like a touring hologram of that artist.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
People that's just creepy,
Dude, if I die ever,
No,
dude,
no hologram,
that's just
Logan.
creepy.
I want you to hologram me.
Like they have a
I'll hologram you.
They
dude.
have a Ronnie James Dio hologram that goes on
You just
tour.
hang out in my bedroom,
Yeah, dude,
watch TV with me.
We'll call Elon.
We'll just
Musk.
we'll post you up in the studio right over there.
Yeah.
I got
in the
it,
corner,
dude.
and
You'll
you can
be in
just
every
watch us.
episode.
We'll
Yeah.
turn Logan into a robot.
We're gonna call Elon Musk, and he's gonna upload my brain into a computer.
Did you
and then
hear?
I'll just hang out all the time.
Did you hear about how he said there's a 70% chance that he's gonna move to Mars?
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, he's gonna move to Mars, and I'm gonna.
He literally said that like
Huh.
today.
No shit.
Yep,
Dude,
he's crazy, man. That guy's crazy, dude.
he knows what's
How
going
about
on,
Tesla
bro.
was just like, bro, you're way too out there. Peace out. The board
Did
just
he
was
leave,
like,
or did
peace
they-
out.
did
Oh,
they
dude,
send him off?
Dude, I think, they sent him off. They
Okay.
gave him a severance package.
Okay.
They were probably
Well,
like, yo,
yeah.
you either have to resign like now, or we're going to just blast you everywhere and say you just got fired. So you got one or two options. It's
And
usually how
all
they
for
put it.
smoking weed on a fucking podcast.
Was that what it
dude.
was for?
Do you
That-
think it was?
Like that's
No.
that's like what it stemmed from. I imagine. Like
Oh, I don't think so.
that was the tipping point when he like became like
I think he was talking too
viral.
much, dude.
I get, but like I think just like breaking that barrier that not very many like brilliant minds like that do, like that just like caused an upstir, and that was like put the whole thing in motion. Yeah, he talked a lot, and that definitely contributed to it, but that was like the final nail in the coffin. It's like, yeah. You gotta go.
But if you listen to that conversation, it's definitely out there when you take into consideration the very limited viewpoint the general population has when it comes to a cell phone. Most people barely know how to use their cell phone, and then to have to put like, and for them to actually listen to that and have even a minute understanding of what he's talking about and how it's going to take over the world, and this is like coming up and we're living in it. You know, just the how he says it, I think for the most part, he tries to dumb it down. You see Elon Musk just kind of like struggle with being so smart. Like that whole interview, like before he smokes weed, like even after he smokes weed, you could tell that he's just sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking, like, how do I make this so I'm not scaring everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do I make it like, you know,
Still
he's got
truthful at the
yeah
same time.
yeah he's got great tact is what he's got. He definitely was able to
Well, he's
dumb it
brilliant.
down. Yeah, totally. And that you can see him struggle with it. I wonder what he does to like kind of balance that out.
Probably smokes weed.
Do you think he smokes weed? Do you think he does anything else?
Dude, I don't think, honestly, I mean, he was drinking, obviously, with Joe Rogan, too,
Mhm.
but I think that was, like, amplifying him a little more, you know what I mean?
Opening a little more.
Like, I mean, you get more anxious. I mean, I mean, for me at least, if I go one night, just freaking get plastered. Okay, sorry, Mom. Just kidding. But no, like, if I get just absolutely drunk and the next morning, I will have some kind of sense of anxiety sometimes, you know what I mean? And you don't know exactly what it is. So I feel like alcohol triggers that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I feel like he reacted more with marijuana, like, calmly. Like,
Yeah.
you can tell he was a little more mellow and was like, okay, maybe this answer would be a little bit easier. But
Mm-hmm.
when he was, like, just starting out, you could tell he was, like, really
Mhm.
struggling to get those words out.
Yeah, and it could have been nerves. He was probably
That too.
nervous, you know.
Dude.
Like I would assume he's quite the introverted guy. I think he's like an engineer, and I think
Yeah,
the majority of his time is that what he was saying on the
Yeah.
show. So I mean, and that's a certain personality type. So, anyways, back to music. I'm kind of interested in this now because we touched on it in that interview.
Fuck.
But when it comes to like musicians who are like traveling and stuff, I never ask this question to like traveling musicians.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, the bands that are traveling, do they smoke a lot of weed or get drunk before the shows for the most part, or like do people usually just have like one or two drinks? It doesn't matter. Like for the do people just get hammered? How does that work?
I mean, I can't really speak for other bands, but for Meridian Movement, I mean, some of us drink. That's about it.
Not that it's a bad thing. I don't fucking care. But
Yeah, I know.
mean, some people like to go out there just faded, and
No,
I know people
I mean,
who like come
really-
in here faded and they shred, and they just
Yeah.
love to do it, man.
Yeah, no, really, we don't. Meridian Movement, we do not get really wasted and then go on the stage. I mean,
Right.
it's usually after, then we'll party a bit, and that's about it.
Yeah, I would assume that like the bands who do get way faded beforehand, they probably kind of plateau. You can only get so good when you're
Dude.
inebriated.
Well, especially,
you know,
like-
right.
Prime example would be Asking Alexandria.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I grew up listening to Asking Alexandria, super fucking stoked on like the first couple albums. But then Danny was also partying all the freaking time,
dude.
drinking all the freaking time, going on stage like
Obliterated,
dude.
Who's this guy? The singer
The
Yeah.
singer.
of Asking Alexandria.
Yeah.
Dude, he
and-
seriously looks like he's 40 right now, and he's like 26.
Whoa.
Because
Yeah.
he's drank
Yeah,
so
he's
fucking
just-
much.
Dude, bro, like, you want to talk about some miles. That dude knows how to party.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my god, dude.
I'm amazed that he's back in the band. Like, he's doing his thing now, but it's definitely not where they used to be.
Yeah.
But, dude, yeah, he
Like-
blew out his voice, had to go get surgery.
How do you do that? And what is blowing out your voice?
No, like, tearing his actual vocal cords. Like,
Just from
they had to-
singing or screaming?
It's pretty much
Yeah,
not
'cause-
singing properly
Yeah.
and not resting enough
Yeah.
and then singing.
Okay. And this is something I'm kind of interested in then.
Yeah, like,
that's why I
every
asked you if
year-
you warm up. Because, like,
Well,
if I
every
were to
year
go
I
run a
go-
full sprint right now, I'd probably fuck my hamstrings
Oh,
up,
yeah, for
right? I have
sure.
to stretch a little bit,
Yeah.
warm up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, every year I go to the ENT and get my vocal cords checked out just to make sure I'm not developing any nodes.
Do they? Yeah. And they scope it? What do
Yeah,
they do?
they scope
just
it.
Scope it. Is that uncomfortable?
No, because they numb you up.
Oh, they do? I
Yeah.
was going to say, you're sticking
I
something
mean,
in your
it tastes
throat.
pretty fucking bad, but
The numbing medicine?
Yes.
Yeah, it tastes like ass, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's the same stuff they do with, like, dentistry, I would assume.
yeah, it's bad.
It's just like a topical anesthetic or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they scope, and then I mean,
And if they
the
find
cool
a
thing
polyp,
is that I go to the guy that's for Boise. He is the only guy that singers should go to, and he has you actually like sing, scream, everything while he has a scope
oh, that's crazy.
in there, so he can actually see if you are going to do damage.
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
So he allows you to test everything just to make sure that even whenever you are going to perform and all that, you won't damage anything in the future.
So he's just gonna notify any inflammation.
Yep.
Probably just give you a couple things like if let's say you do get damaged vocal cords, right? Polyps, they have to remove them. I would
Yeah.
assume, yeah, they don't just go away. What is a polyp, by the way?
It's
Is it
essentially a blister on the
Pretty
surfaces
much,
of the
yeah.
cords.
And
I've
so
had
when
one,
it's
I think.
when you've had one,
I think. I don't know.
are they
I've
painful?
I've blown
How do
my
you-
voice
how would
out
you know?
before.
Yeah, and when is just like until you can't talk anymore? Like,
Yeah, like, dude, I was hoarse. I was like, you could barely hear me, like, and it hurt to talk.
Oh man.
It was bad. That was like in the very, very beginning of this band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
was bad.
terrible.
Well, dude,
a world where you're not able to talk. Can you imagine it,
bro,
No.
bro, like,
Can you
no,
imagine
I mean, I've gotten.
I love you, Blake.
I love how you guys razz each other all the time.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, just a name drop, Dr. Vandergraaf is awesome.
Hell yeah. Go Doc.
Also,
okay.
fuck me, I guess.
Blake, you need to go see him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what if you have like multiple polyps?
If I did, you'd be able to know probably.
How would
Yeah.
you know though?
No, you could totally know because his voice would change and it would get harder for him to sing how he normally sings.
So just vocalize.
Yeah, he would notice it.
I've been doing
And is
the
it
same
like a
shit for
pitch
10
thing that you would
years,
notice,
so-
or is it like
Yes, he would have to strain more to get the pitches that he wants.
And it would sound strained, obviously, because there's a restriction.
I
of
mean,
airflow
it
at that
depends.
point,
Like,
right?
say if you have just
You're
like a
restricting the
tiny
airflow.
polyp, it's not going to affect as much. But he's going to notice that he's having to sing more.
And do they grow, or do they just like?
I mean, I would say they
where
flare
it's
up.
like a certain. Oh, okay. Man, I need to look into that. It's really interesting because the only reason I'm interested in this right now is because I used to play this game on
Called
the
Polyps?
Nintendo Wii, and it was a surgery game. And you would use the Wii remote's like surgical tools.
Okay.
And there was a stage where there was a singer who came in, and you had to laser off the polyps on the
Okay,
vocal
that-
cords.
that's kinda
So you
messed
had to go
up.
through the whole surgical procedure. Yeah, I forget the name of it. Trauma ER or some shit like that.
I kind of want to get it now.
No, it's really cool, man.
Get
It's-
it for your wife. Get it for your wife.
she'll love it.
If you
And then they'll get it for the medical students and everything. Yeah.
She'd probably like it. Yeah, it's a fun game, man. It's kind of like the what's the surgery game?
Operation.
Operation.
Yeah, it's like Operation on steroids, is what it is. But yeah, it's a cool one, man. It's fun. But fuck, what was I talking about? You got me all sidetracked on.
I'm sorry.
Surgery and video games. Oh yeah. Okay. So, when you blew out your voice box.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
So what did it feel like? I've torn a muscle before.
Dude, it felt like
It did
that.
not feel good.
It felt like right here was all messed up. Like, definitely something.
No
tore.
bruising.
Like, I don't know. I was pretty swollen in the face.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
pretty.
your lymph nodes started getting all puffy and
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
shit.
bad. Well, that could have also been all the drinking down in Utah, but
maybe.
Could have been that hooker I slept with the other
no,
night.
I don't do that.
Good. Good.
Yet.
No.
Yeah, I can't afford it. Is my problem.
That is exactly what that meant.
You know what sucks
That's
is
fucked up.
coughing and then breaking ribs,
Oh, dude,
Oh yeah, you
which
did
I
that.
did last week.
I've heard of. Some
I coughed.
Cough so
horror
hard you broke a
stories.
fucking
Yeah,
rib.
I coughed so hard I
Mhm.
broke 2 ribs.
like a whooping cough. Do you have like a
Ugh.
whooping cough, or was it just a
No,
random
it was
cough?
just so I was sick, and then I just had this lingering cough after, and then
Mhm.
I coughed, and all of a sudden I heard pop pop,
That's like
and
the
then
most.
it was just the most pain I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
It sucked.
that's just.
Granted, the doctors gave me a lot of drugs.
I don't know
So
how
then
that's
after I
even
was cool.
possible, dude. That's like, I don't know. That's just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy.
It
I
really
dislike-
freaking hurt. I couldn't.
That is such a
Dude.
suburban. That is
Dude,
such a
it
suburban
hurt so
dad
bad.
injury.
Yeah.
And then I could actually, whenever it happened, the next day I was going like this, and I could feel the ribs going like kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Yeah.
That is such a
It was so
suburban
gross.
dad. That is such a suburban dad injury. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's like, what are you gonna pull a hamstring when you're mowing the lawn next?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny. How many kids you got?
I just have one.
Just yeah, that's right. You told me
Yes,
earlier.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
She's special needs though.
How
So,
old?
12.
12.
Yeah.
There you go.
She's
man.
pretty cool.
You
She
are
is
a
pretty
veteran dad by now, dude.
She runs her own YouTube channel.
Yeah?
Yes.
See, that
yes.
Do you want to give her a shout out?
Yeah, to Dashy Poo Gaming.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, she does like game run throughs and shit.
That's
Yeah.
cool. She do Twitch and stuff.
Not yet because she's only 12.
Oh, I don't know how that works. I just know you can monetize it. You can make money.
I know.
And if she just
I mean,
crushes it,
just we want to start her off slow and then move on
yeah,
from
she's
that.
young, dude.
Just because I mean
Totally.
she's
Yeah.
already like she's like, so for my profession I would like to be a professional Twitch person or YouTube.
Dude, you know what? Nowadays, that's kind of a goal. That's my
Yes.
goal. That's my goal right
And I'm
now.
cool with it as long as she still does her normal school track.
Yeah.
Because she can go to college for like communication degree
Totally.
and just get more for her profession. So that's
Well,
how I
she
look
could,
at it.
She could be famous in like 2 years. She could go viral in a year and a half, man.
True.
It's like
And
just-
that could be her college fund, and she'd still go to school and be a YouTube star. Doesn't take too much work, man. And at that point, if
Yep.
they're paying for your school, You're probably going to have a team that's going to take care of all the work for you, and you're just going to go to work, and you're going to show up for your shoot, and you're going to go home, and everybody's going to take care of your stuff.
Which I am cool with.
Yeah, totally, man. Got to think big.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. All right, so the breakdown ball, it's on, December 1st. And the day of the week is
Saturday.
This Saturday. So everybody listening to this, December 1st, Saturday, make sure that you make it out. How can people get tickets?
All the bands have tickets available for $5 a piece. Tickets are going to be $10 at the door, or bring a toy, donate to Toys for Tots.
That's nothing, man.
For 5 bands,
Dude,
it's
that's
pretty nice.
Literally nothing.
Also, one thing we haven't really started publicizing yet, but it is important because BSU is going to the title game. We are going to be playing the game at the show, so that way you don't have to choose between the two.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, because they have a bar there, we're gonna play the game there because the game starts right when doors open, I believe.
Yep. And they have 3 TVs,
Do you guys-
there's plenty of room for people to watch the BSU game and enjoy awesome music.
Have you guys put a post for that together yet?
We're probably gonna do that sometime in the next couple of days. Yeah.
You should do that tonight.
Mhm.
You need to get that out there.
There you go, Scott.
Yeah, I would help you, but I'm already booked out. I'm so busy right now.
We can't afford you.
I see how it is, Tim.
Yeah, we cannot afford you, dude.
No, we
I'm
can't.
free 99 for the most part. If it's less than 2 hours and I've got nothing going on, I will Netflix and chill by myself
Or call the bros over
and finger my computer all night, just fucking pounding keys and fucking working. But all right, sweet. Okay, so it's name off all the bands, by the way.
So first we got Life Upon Liars, then Meridian Movement, then Avoid from Seattle, and then As Fire Falls, and then We Were Giants closes out the night.
Yep.
All right, sweet. And you guys have a page for the Breakdown Ball. Is it just everybody search Breakdown Ball?
The official Facebook page for the Breakdown Ball is called the Breakdown Ball Fund.
Okay.
And then the Facebook event is First Annual Breakdown Ball.
Okay. Is there a donation thing set up on your guys' page for the Breakdown Ball where people can just hit a donate button?
Yeah, they make a donation buttons on there.
Hell yeah. Everybody listening, make a $1 donation. I think that's probably the minimum it's going to take because the processing fees probably.
1, 5,
eat
20,
up
whatever you want to do.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do. Just get out there and donate. This is a great local cause. Meridian Movement. Hold on one second. Actually, let's keep up with We Were Giants real quick, just because I'm talking to Scott. Everybody can find you guys on anything at We Were Giants. Are you primarily on Facebook? Is that the most engagement that you
Facebook,
get?
yeah. Instagram, but Facebook's mostly, yeah.
Okay, cool. And it's just We Were Giants band? We Were Giants.
We Were Giants band.
Okay, sweet. So everybody go ahead and follow them. You can find their music literally everywhere as well. They just came out with a new CD, which is sick. And we'll be having them chit-chat about some new projects they've been working on here on another episode. But make sure you follow them. All right, Will. Sorry, man. I totally cut you off, dude. Dick move at me, but all right. We need to get shout-outs from you, and where can people find you guys? Where can they stream you?
So, Facebook, we are on all platforms with songs. We have Instagram, Twitter. That's about it.
And you guys are pretty active on Instagram and Twitter?
Mostly active on Facebook.
Okay.
And then Twitter, and then Instagram.
Awesome. And how long have you guys been a band, by the way?
Only about a year.
I was gonna say, because you guys pop up on so many things. Like, you guys have done some promotional stuff for some shows that just follow through my stream because of everybody I'm connected with here in the music community. And I see you guys everywhere, but I knew every time I've asked somebody, they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, they're like a new band. Like, they've only done a few shows, but it's always good feedback, dude. I always hear great stuff about you guys." And I'm glad you came tonight, by the way, because when I talked to Blake yesterday, I was like, just invite somebody, like whoever you think would be a good representation for the show. I've got 4 mics. We can get at least 4 or 5 extra people in here. And when he hit me back up yesterday, he said, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to make it, so it just might be the We Were Giants guys. So
I'm totally
so I didn't
stoked
even
to be
expect
here.
you. Yeah. So when he told me when he showed up today and he said you were coming over, I was like, hell yeah, dude. I just like more representation. You know, it's nice to
totally.
have like different perspectives and stuff. Like, it's been cool getting to know you, and we'll have to have you guys on the show. I've been actually meaning to hit you up. I didn't even know you were you on my Facebook until tonight. But I was actually going to hit you up to see if you guys wanted to come in and do like an acoustic set.
Yeah.
What I kind of want to do is I've got another guy who contacted me. His daughter is like a really good guitarist, and she sings like kind of like a country style, but she's really good. And he hit me up for some studio time. And I was like thinking, all right, cool. Well, my brother's doing music. I've had a lot of other bands on here. I kind of want to start doing like 3-song sets where people just come in here, just like have 3 songs and just have like a unique style or whatever on acoustic. So if you guys want to come in here and give me a free show,
Sure.
then I'll give you free studio time, and I'll try to make it as good as I can because it's only going to make me better. I've invited these guys so many times, but they just decline me every time, man.
Dude,
every time.
You declined me twice though.
For what?
It was just gonna be me and you on the podcast and shit.
Well, I'm talking about acoustic.
Oh shit!
I'm talking
he's talking
about
about, he's talking about the
Yeah, he's
acoustic.
talking about like
Yeah.
I mean, Scott,
yeah.
if you bring a guitar in yourself,
Yeah,
I'm sure
come
he'd
over,
be
come over and play
he'd be all
guitar and
for it.
sing, man. I know you sing. Come over and like jam out with me. Come over and grab another guitarist or
Yeah.
whatever. Just come over. I
Or
just
just bring a bongo or something.
Yeah, I would totally rock a bongo, dude. If you could fucking jam on a guitar, I could totally jam on a bongo.
That would
It'd be fun, man.
fucking
It'd
sick.
be hella dope.
and you could just do your. And you go like,
Totally.
Oh
That'd be
my
awesome.
God,
That'd be
that'd be
sick.
dope.
I'm
Mongolians will rise all over the world.
Genghis Khan himself will emerge from his grave.
Dude, that is so funny, man.
I mean, I was gonna make a really bad joke there, but never mind.
Scott, were you in choir? Did you say you were in choir?
I was in choir for 13 years. I'm also a classically trained vocalist.
No shit. Okay,
Woot,
well,
woot.
I did not know that.
You sang at Carnegie Hall, right?
Yes.
I sang at I can't remember what the hell it's called. It's the big ass opera theater at Gonzaga University.
So you were like an opera singer?
No, choir. I've sang everything from soprano 1 to bass 2, because I had a really really high voice until probably my sophomore year of high school, and then it started to get lower.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about there too.
The range kind of stayed, but then I dropped to a bass 2 because I came from a smaller town.
Once the
Yeah.
balls ascended.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, my freshman year to my senior year, I went from 5'1" to 6'4". So, yeah.
Damn. I was in the Kiwanis Boys Choir.
Oh, really?
Ooh,
Kiwanis
nice.
Boys Choir? Yeah, back in the day. And I was a first alto.
Sweet.
I was
Nice.
in there for 2 years, man.
Look at
And
that.
you know what, man?
Represent high voices.
Yeah, dude. And I loved it. I just didn't have time for choir. I was in band too. I played trumpet up through high school, and I played football in high
I played
school.
baritone.
So all the band people hated me because like I got a free pass through the football season because I couldn't be in marching band. I can't march at my own game.
Yeah.
But you know what? I did one game, dude. It was weird. It was weird, man. I marched at a football game one time. It was
In your uniform and shit?
no. I was a sophomore and I marched at the varsity game. I played for
okay.
the sophomore team, but like I went out there and marched at a football game. It was really weird.
That's funny as shit.
and then like I ended up playing football the next years. But yeah, dude, those kids hated me. And there was like a chick, she played volleyball, and another football player, he was a saxophonist, like a big ass Polynesian dude who like played a saxophone. And dude, his mom's story is so sad, by the way. You want to hear a really fucked up story real quick?
Wah, wah.
This is
dude,
really
Is
sad.
that gonna bring this whole?
It's gonna
entire
bring the
vibe?
Not
vibe
at all.
down, though.
Well, oh yeah, you think it will. Oh yeah. We're talking about breakdown ball.
We
This
can
is
talk about it
breakdown ball.
afterwards.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, dude.
We'll talk about it on the next episode. You guys want to record a quick 30-minute clip with you guys about your new project? Yeah?
Yeah.
Just talk about your process and, like, mind frame and stuff. You can stay, Will. You're more than welcome to hang.
What new project?
whatever. Just like you guys' new songs that you've been working on, and like what you guys are thinking about doing next.
Oh, I didn't
and,
think we were talking about that.
No, on the next episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally. All right. Did I miss any shout outs? We got everybody.
Yeah.
Solid lineup. Everybody can buy a ticket online.
You can buy a ticket online, or you can hit up the bands and they'll meet up with you
through Facebook, or contact a band directly through Facebook, Instagram, however else
you can contact them.
All right, or you can contact me here at just you can just hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. You know where I'm at, Channel 99 Studios. All right, well, make sure that you subscribe, give us 5 stars, pass this episode along, because this is an awesome event. It deserves to have as much exposure as we can give it, especially for the local music scene. It's a really cutthroat world out there when it comes to entertainment here in the Valley. So any love is appreciated. And outside of that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
I can do shit like, you know, with strings and stuff, you know, like, you know, just going down a little bit, but I don't shred. I don't give a fuck that I don't shred.
Thanks for at least playing my outro.
Yeah, no worries,
everybody. Blake in the house.
I do that though. That sounds kind of neat.
That does sound sick. I can't even do that.
It's not really
and
that
I
hard,
own
dude.
that
You
guitar.
fucking take your pinky and your fucking this index finger, go like that. It's easy.
I'll
Anyone
be
can do
shred.
it.
I'll
Anyone
be
needs,
melting
you don't even have to play
faces.
guitar and you can do that shit.
Hell yeah. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for listening in to the very end. That was Blake. We were giants just goofing around on my new guitar. All right. Peace.